So I'm sure you guys have already heard about this whole controversy with Trump and, the Somalians in Minnesota. But I'm going to put my take on it, fact check some things and just see what's actually going on. I am so excited to hear him talking like this because we are tired of other people coming into our country and not appreciating our way of life, not assimilating to our culture, and basically just trying to change America into the countries that they fled from. So we're going to get into this. This is absolutely awesome what he has to say right here. I'm so happy to hear it.
No, I think that Waltz is a grossly incompetent man. There's something wrong with him, okay? There's something wrong with him. And when you look at what he's done with Somalia, which is barely a country, they have no anything. They just run around killing each other. There's no structure. And when I see somebody like Ilhan Omar, who I don't know at all, but I always watch her for years. I've watched her complain about.
Yeah, I got some clips I'm going to show you guys, so you can see what he's talking about.
Our Constitution, how she's being treated badly. Our Constitution, the United States of America, is a bad place. Hates everybody, hates Jewish people, hates everybody. And I think she's an incompetent person. She's a real terrible person. But when I watch what is happening in Minnesota, the land of 1,000 lakes, or however many lakes they have, they got a lot of lakes, but this beautiful place, and I see these people ripping it off, and now I'm understanding, and you're going to look at that's good. I hear they ripped off Somalians, ripped off that state for billions of dollars every year, billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason.
Yep.
Their country stinks.
And they want to come here and they want to make our country exactly like theirs.
We don't want them in our country. I can say that about other countries, too.
Yeah, a lot of other countries.
I can say it about other countries, too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. Our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it.
It's true.
We could go one way or the other. And we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great.
Nope.
These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. They came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain and do nothing but bitch, we don't.
That is exactly what they do. That is all they do.
Want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it. Thank you very much, everybody.
Right. If they have so much to say about America, then why don't they just fix those things in their own country? Go back to your own country and make it great. You all say that you're so great and your country's so great. Go fix it.
A massive fraud scheme uncovered in Minnesota found money intended for social services has been allegedly siphoned indirectly into the pockets of the Somali terrorist group Al-Shabaab. Somali immigrants in Minnesota have reportedly been abusing systems meant to help the most unfortunate among us, including the latest federally funded autism services. The autism fraud scheme reportedly amassed $14 million through Medicare claims for services that were never provided, involving kids who never had autism. And
Yep, that's insane that this is even anything that could ever happen in our own country here in America. How do we allow things like this to happen? It has to stop.
Somali immigrants behind this web of schemes have allegedly stolen billions from taxpayers, much of the money going back to the Somali government, where it would then end up in the hands of terrorists.
Well, billions of dollars of government welfare money is missing in the state of Minnesota.
How do we define missing?
Well, the fraud is so bad that the U.S. Attorney's Office has come out and indicated that they believe their entire government programs, where the fraudulent claims outstrip the legitimate ones. There are cases where indictments have come down, or guilty pleas to the tunes of hundreds of millions of dollars that were fraudulently obtained, filing false claims alongside doctored paperwork. And the indictments are continuing.
Look at the people in our country, guys. Look at them. They just all look so American, so patriotic. You know, I'm sure that they just love white people. This is so crazy that we are allowing this to happen. It's even crazier that they're allowed to sit in a jail cell and still get fed from taxpayers, off of taxpayer dollars.
To come. And the U.S. Attorney's Office has made very clear that this is a network of fraud schemes stacked upon fraud schemes, and that while the true dollar figure in terms of stolen funds at this point isn't quite clear, it's safe to say that we're talking about billions of dollars.
Yeah, and we see things like this all the time, and it correlates with culture. It really does. I know that it is frowned upon to say something like that, but it's just true. And Americans are just allowing this to happen. We're allowing our country to become a third world country.
Nonprofit at the center of all of this fraud. We spoke with current and former federal sources, and they tell us billions have been stolen since 2019, that Minnesota is just riddled with fraud, and that a lot of this money goes back.
How long? How has this been going on for so long? Oh my gosh, just so much greed and corruption.
Back to Somalia, and a cut of all that money has gone to the Al-Qaeda-linked terror group Al-Shabaab. But I want to reset this for viewers because it's complicated. This all stems from Feeding Our Future. That's the largest COVID fraud ever. These criminals opened more than 200 federal child nutrition program sites throughout Minnesota, and sites lied, claimed to be serving meals to thousands of children a day.
Yeah, just claimed it. I'm sure there were no investigations to make sure that's where the money was going or anything. It was just like, yep, here you go, brown people. We want to make sure that they're taken care of, so we're just going to funnel money in their way, in their direction.
Created fake attendance rosters, fake invoices, and the government reimbursed them. David Gaither, he's a former state senator here. He saw this firsthand.
No one went to check things out. No one went to make sure that this was okay. They just kept receiving these papers that said, yeah, everything is good, and they just rolled with it.
This is the Safari restaurant in downtown Minneapolis. This is the epicenter of some of the biggest fraud and waste and abuse in this area. The owner right now is currently in jail.
I mean, look at the sidewalk. These people have stolen billions of dollars, and they can't even get a nice sidewalk.
Jail. This restaurant, which seats about 35, supposedly served 18,000 plus meals a day. A day?
A day. A day. And no one said, this is weird.
A day for 7 months. 18,000 plus.
Now, Minnesota Rep. Ilhan Omar, she was a fixture at this restaurant, the Safari, during her run for office. I think we have a photo of her at the restaurant with her supporters in 2018. Feeding Our Future, that's that corrupt nonprofit. It was the epicenter of it, but others spawned from it. There were home relocation services, child autism. They were bilking $399 million in services fraud in 2023 alone.
And this lady who hates America, hates white people, like I said, I got some clips for you guys, is sitting in Congress right now, for the 5th District of Minnesota. She has no love for our country. She has no respect for our people. She has no respect for our culture.
To our Somali community, we love you.
Yeah, don't address all of the allegations, and reassure people that we're going to make sure that your tax dollars are accounted for. We're going to make sure that we find every single penny. No, instead, it's straight to the Somali people. We love the Somali people.
And we stand with you. That commitment is rock solid. Minneapolis is proud to be home to the largest Somali community in the entire country.
Why? Why? This guy, look at him. I mean,
they've been here for decades in many instances. They're entrepreneurs and fathers. They benefit both the culture and the economic resilience of our city.
No, they do not. We don't want their culture here.
Targeting Somali people means that due process will be violated. Mistakes will be made. And let's be clear, it means that American citizens will be detained for no other reason than the fact that they look like they are Somali.
Lies. That's such a lie. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just trying to fearmonger people into thinking that anybody can get picked up off the street because they're black. That is not true. They are only arresting undocumented immigrants and people under the TPS order. That's it.
My name is Jamal Osman. I am the council member of Ward 6, someone who represents the largest East African community in Minneapolis.
Why are we representing the largest East African community here in America? Why? We are here to represent Americans. That's it.
I am proud to say I'm a Somali American. This country welcomed me.
Somali. You're Somali.
My family 26 years ago. It has provided me a life that I did not have in Somalia. We came here and we are thankful to be here. I've been educated here, got the opportunity to serve my community, to be a council member. I know many families are fearful tonight.
Yep, you reaped all the benefits and you got to stay exactly as you were in Somalia.
But I want you to know that City of Minneapolis stand behind you as the leaders, both mayors and the chief and everyone that stand behind you are here to stand with you. Our community has lived through fear in the past. And
every community has lived in fear. White people are living in fear right now. Everyone is attacking us. Everyone is saying that all we are is racist and white supremacists while they're sitting in congressional seats, in seats of power, you know, just spewing their nonsense. But yet we're white supremacists. We're racist.
Now I would like to switch into Somali to speak to my community. Assalamu alaikum.
Why are they talking in another language? We're in America. This is a predominantly English country. If you are on television, you are on the news, you are, you know, holding a press, whatever they're doing right now, speak English. If they can't understand you, then that's on them. I cannot believe that we are watching people right now sitting here saying that are supposed to be representing everyone in their district or their state or their city, sit here and address directly only their community in their own language and starting it with Assalamu alaikum. I mean, what are we doing? Our country is cooked. Our country is cooked, guys. This woman needs to be removed from office immediately. She needs to be gone.
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. We should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
And so the idea...
How can you sit there on national television saying nonsense like this and being extremely racist to white people? They are allowed to say whatever they want about us, anything they want, no repercussions. I mean, what are we doing?
And so the idea that this is a white nation that needs to be preserved is a fascinatingly disgusting view because this country is one for the many.
They come here from countries because this is a white country, because they have the opportunities they have, because white people have made those opportunities. And yet they don't want the country to be white. We are just watching in real time the decay of Western culture.
First speech, where she said, quote, the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. They must do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders, and that is how we will safeguard the interest of Somalia. We Somalians must have that confidence in ourselves that we call the shots in the United States. Sleep in comfort, knowing I am here to protect the interest of Somalia from inside the U.S. system. That is a lot of the word Somalia. Okay, so Omar added, we will liberate the occupied territories stolen from Somalia, Djibouti, Somaliland, and the northeastern province in Kenya that belongs to Greater Somalia. All right, DeSantis posting on social media calling for Omar to be expelled from Congress, denaturalized, and deported.
He's exactly Yeah, it says the Somali population in the U.S. has been growing steadily since the early 1990s. From 2010 to 2024, the population has roughly doubled overall, with an average annual growth rate of 4.5% in recent years, faster than the national population growth, 0.7 to 1% annually. It says per capita insight, Somali American women have 1.5 to 2 times more births annually than white women in the same age group. For example, with 80,000 Somali Americans in Minnesota, largest U.S. hub, Somali births outpace white births proportionately despite the smaller population. You know, Trump speaking like this is so good because it shifts the overtone window. We need to be able to normalize speaking like this because this is a problem. Even if this is, a small scale thing that Trump's trying to do, it's still good that he is saying this and he is pointing us in the right direction because a lot of people seen that. A lot of people did. And it just makes me so proud that our president is actually paying attention and speaking up on, because when he said, I feel like our country is going to shift in the wrong direction, very fast, that's what he meant. Had to be what he meant. Is we keep letting these people in, the people that are already here as well, that have not assimilated, they will always look at their, their parents or their grandparents' country as their own. They will never be truly American. And that is a problem. We have to fix this.
Many on social media couldn't agree more, asking how a Somalian gets to sit in one of the highest levels of office and use her power to spend U.S. tax dollars and resources on her own selfish interests.
Yeah, they got that right. I'm sick of seeing her and so many others on my TV yapping in my country.
So let me get this straight. Ilhan Omar decided to basically get up during one of her speeches and pledge her loyalty.
She's so cute.
Loyalty to Somalia, going on and on about how incredible it is, which, by the way, if it's so great, then why'd you leave it? Going so far as to even refer to the president of Somalia as our president. No, Ilhan, he is not our president, but he certainly is yours, because I don't even care if you came here legally at the end of the day. You are not an American.
Nope.
You make it abundantly clear that you hate each and every single thing that made this country so wonderful, and that you want to destroy it from the inside out. If you immigrate to a country and then absolutely refuse to assimilate, all you're doing is invading, and she has made her intentions abundantly clear.
That's all they're doing. They're all just invading our country, and we are welcoming it with open arms.
I do find it quite curious that so many of these people running around screaming about dual loyalty are silent when it comes to this. Although, of course, this is not dual loyalty. She only has one loyalty, and it's certainly not to our country. I find it so funny how many of these third world immigrants come here talking about how they had to escape to this country for a better life and then trying to do everything within their power to turn it into the country in which they escaped from. I'm getting sick and tired of it, and people like this need to be nowhere near our Congress.
Yeah, she's totally right. And I should have pulled a couple videos from the Somali gangs in Minnesota right now that are just acting like they're in Somalia right now. They're acting like they're in Africa, but they're here in America and, beautiful Minnesota acting like that. And there's a bunch of documentaries. You'll have to, look it up on YouTube. But yeah, they are just absolutely ganging it up in beautiful Minnesota.
If you want a good laugh today, check this out.
Somalis are not terrorizing this nation. We are helping it thrive. Somalis have always seen themselves as the fabric of this nation.
That's what they all think. That's what all these immigrants think. It's not true.
So not only are we not going anywhere, we are not going to allow anybody to make us feel less Minnesotan or less American.
First and foremost, Little Miss Brusband. I don't feel American. I am American, so no one can make me feel less than or less like something that I already am because I was born that. And the real problem stems from the fact that you believe that you are the fabric of this nation. By the way, that metaphor refers to people that share fundamental structures, values, beliefs, culture and all this stuff. Didn't you come from Somalia, where the country's major fabric is Islam, what holds that nation together? And in Islam, you either convert or die. That's their belief system, correct? Or you force them to believe what you believe. Didn't Minnesota change their flag for you? See, if you were the fabric of this nation as you're espousing, you wouldn't have come to change the area you're in. You would assimilate and join in and share your culture and share your beliefs without forcing it on anybody, because no means no. But you guys don't believe in that. If I don't believe what you believe, you say I should die. So please miss me with that, Little Miss Brusband.
Makes me so happy to see Black people whenever they are patriotic for their country, because there are a lot of them right now, white people as well, that are absolutely hating on this country. And, you know, they only look at whites as oppressors, and this country was never anything but racist and things like that. So it just really makes me so happy when I see it. And I hope to God that the number of them is growing.
A lot of white nationalists are really upset about Somali immigration to Minnesota for some reason. But the thing is, Minnesota is the homeland of the Somali people, and it was promised to us 3,000 years ago. In fact, one of the founding documents of the state of Minnesota is literally codifying into law that Somali people have self-determination on that land. As it states very plainly in the basic law in Minnesota, the land of Minnesota is the historical homeland of the Somali people, in which the state of Minnesota was established. The state of Minnesota is the home of the Somali people, in which it fulfills its natural, cultural, religious, and historical right to self-determination. The right to exercise self-determination in the state of Minnesota is unique to the Somali people. The state views the development of Somali settlement as a national value and will act to encourage and promote its establishment and consolidation. So that's the end of the debate. The only people who have the right to self-determination in Minnesota are Somalis. Somalis have a cultural tie to the land. It was promised to us 3,000 years ago, and we have the right to go back to our homeland. If anybody wants to help me pay for Aliyah to my homeland, please help me out.
Yeah, give me money. And except that's not the end of the debate. It says no, there is no founding document, constitution, treaty, law, or any other official document of Minnesota, past or present, that grants Somali people or any other immigrant or ethnic group a right of self-determination over Minnesota land, territory, or government. And then I looked up exactly what he said, word for word, and it says no such document exists in Minnesota's history, laws, constitution, treaties, or official records. So he just gets on here, types up some fake document, and just says, yeah, this is our homeland. 3,000 years ago, in America, Minnesota was promised to Somalis. This is how ridiculous these people are. And this video right here got over 10,000 likes. Just absolute idiots that will believe anything they see in here.
You know, like the racists are actually just jealous of Somalis because...
Nope, we absolutely aren't. We want to be anything but you.
Of how successful we became in a matter of one generation. And I was watching a lot of videos that are coming up on my For You page where people are saying, how come Somalis have nice cars and we don't? We've been here like how many generations? We were born here, our ancestors are from here, but Somalis drive nice cars. This whole thing is just making me realize is jealousy. They're jealous of our success because they expect us like...
You have nice cars because you scam the government. You scam the taxpayer. You save all your money while living off the taxpayer's dime, and you spend your money on nice things that other people don't get to have because they don't live off of the government.
Like to be at the bottom of the bottom, right? And then we come here one generation, we work hard, we save our money. And Somalis are not the only community that committed fraud, okay? If we were like European immigrants, like maybe Bosnians who are Muslims or Russians, and they become successful, nobody would blink an eye because they're white. But the fact that we're brown people from Africa.
That's what they do. When they can't justify the crimes that they're committing, they'll say, oh, well, everybody else does it too, and it's just because we're brown. They can never hold themselves accountable for what they've actually done. They have come to this country, made a mockery out of it, tried to turn it into little Somalia. They're trying to, and then they want to sit here and say that we're racist. We're the white supremacists after you guys have been stealing like a lot of money. That's insane.
It kills them. And now they're trying to come at our community or deport them, do this to them. Even Somalis, wherever we go, we're still going to be successful. Even if you deport them, they can still make money. Wallah. And you guys will still be in the U.S. broke, living paycheck to paycheck.
There is a major ICE operation happening in Minnesota right now, targeting Somali immigrants. And as somebody who was raised in Minnesota, I need people to understand something. Minnesota loves its Somali community. They are a core part of the state. And a lot of people being taken right now are here legally.
He's just outright lying. It says, no, Donald Trump is not deporting legal Somali U.S. citizens. Under the U.S. Constitution with the 14th Amendment and federal law, U.S. citizens, whether natural born or naturalized, cannot be deported, regardless of their country of origin. What Trump is actually doing, ending TPS for Somalis on November 21st, 2025. Trump announced via Truth Social that he is immediately terminating TPS for Somalis in Minnesota. TPS, created in 1990, protects 705 Somali nationals nationwide. Says starting December 2nd through the 3rd, 2025, ICE launched strike teams, 100 agents, in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, targeting undocumented Somalis with final deportation orders. This could sweep up others without status, but not citizens. So yeah, this guy's just wanting clicks. He's just wanting everybody to go, oh no, they're going to start taking all black people off the streets and deporting them. It's such a lie.
Somalis are notorious for looting, stealing, their piracy, very well known for. They marry children, they don't have women's rights, women can't vote. And when you import a bunch of them into the middle of Minnesota in our country, they're going to do the same thing. They are going to steal.
And they are absolutely marrying their children. Somalia has no uniform national law setting a minimum age for marriage. The country operates under 3 parallel legal systems, and the rules differ dramatically by region. Federal government of Somalia, South Central, including whatever the hell that is, 18 with exceptions. Somalia and self-declared independent Northwest, no minimum age in practice. Puntland, Northeast, no minimum age. Al-Shabaab, controlled areas, puberty, often 9 to 13 for girls. That's sick. Here, no functioning marriage law sets an age. Religious courts, Sharia, dominate. Girls routinely married between 12 and 15. 12 and 15 years old. 9 and 12. I mean, what are we doing allowing these people into our country? They're not assimilating to our culture. They're bringing that over here and trying to spread it, trying to spread this ideology that that is okay.
Our country, they're going to do the same thing. They are going to steal. They are going to, it's so crazy that we've done this. They're not going to assimilate. They are just going to find a stronghold of a shared community of values that they have, Somali values in a Western culture, and they're going to do the same thing. They're going to cut off female genitalia.
They do that too. So it says 98 to 99% of women aged 15 to 49 have undergone female genital mutilation. Almost all Somali girls are cut, usually between ages 4 and 11. Almost always the most severe form, type 3 infibulation, removal of the clitoris and labia minora, then stitching the vaginal opening almost completely closed, leaving a tiny hole. This is sometimes called pharaonic circumcision in Somalia. It says it's to control the female sexuality, marriageability, and purity. It says it's illegal here in the United States, and that even if they go home, for vacation and they have it done over there and come back, they could still get a felony or whatever. But I'm like, who are you going to charge? If she goes over there and then comes back home, who are you going to charge for that? It says in Somalia itself, nearly every girl is still subjected to severe female genital mutilation. Absolutely sickening.
Because 99% of Somali women have done that.
Yeah, I mean, even though it's illegal here in America, if these people do ever gain control over our country, they can change that easily.
Or I guess had that done to them. They are going to steal. Again, what do you think of when you think of Somalia? Piracy. Which is exactly what we are seeing, because in case you did not know, there is currently a massive investigation into this Medicaid fraud scheme amongst the Somali community in our country. They're making fraudulent claims and they are stealing from the taxpayers. They're stealing from our government. And if that wasn't bad enough, it has been reported that we are the largest funder of Al-Shabaab, their terror group back in Somalia. Yeah, they've been defrauding the US government and then sending it to our enemy. And we are at work paying for it. Calling this out, it's not racist, it's not xenophobic. It's not being anti-Somali. It's saying, hey, I actually think Western culture, the freedoms that we have, are superior. I would much rather live in a country where I have a voice, where I can vote, where my genitals aren't removed, where I could wear what I want. practice what religion I want. I think that's a superior way of life. And the people in Somalia do not think that's a superior way of life. They are coming here to change it and expecting anything else from a group of people that have not changed in their home country and then bringing them here and thinking they're going to change here. It's insane. It's insanity. And it's going to be the end of our freedoms. We cannot tolerate a group of people who do not tolerate our freedoms. It's not racist, that's not xenophobic to say. It's the truth, and we better start saying it. And the option of doing nothing about this isn't there.
So let me absolutely well said. She absolutely hit every note.
Let me just get this straight. This guy, who's a Somali migrant living in Minnesota, kidnapped and raped a 12-year-old girl. 12.
Look at that guy. Ugh.
Got the minimum sentence required of 12 years in prison. And when he got said sentence, his mosque wrote a letter to the public excusing the behavior and saying he's an upstanding family values guy on behalf of the Somali community.
Yeah, our cultures just don't align. They marry children over there. We don't do that.
He was a devoted family man and outgoing person, made everyone in the community's life better, his love for his family and kids. And like everyone else migrating to America, he has faced the challenge of starting over in a new culture by learning English, adjusting to a fast-paced system, and raising children. So the rape of a child is really just a cultural difference. It's just something to culturally be aware of. It's excusable because it was his culture before.
Yeah, it can be his damn culture, but it's not going to be here. They can do their culture over there. I don't think that America should be involved in any of these countries, any of these wars. I don't want anything to do with it. America first. Let them people do what the hell they want to do over there. We want Americans to be safe, our young girls to be safe. I know that it's, everybody could say, oh, that's so mean. That's so mean. We should look out for everybody. No. This is reality. This is the real world, okay? These people are not going to look out for us. They're not going to look out for our little girls. Instead, they're doing the shit that he's doing. We have to look out for our own country, our own culture. Stop helping other people. Stop telling them what they should be doing in their cultures. They don't want it. They don't want to live in Western culture. And we need to stop letting them in. We have to stop letting them in here.
As a dad of children.
And it makes me so happy to see women, white women standing up. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it so much.
Maybe it's me. Forgive my cultural ignorance here. But is this mosque just straight up telling you that Somali culture is the kidnapping and rape of 12-year-olds?
Trump is only talking about taking a few of them, getting them out of here. But this is the kind of rhetoric we need. This is what we need from our president. Honestly, I'm enjoying every second of it. I hope he keeps going. We are definitely at an extreme tipping point, and I don't have all the answers. I don't know what the solution to it is. I mean, I have an idea, but we got to start somewhere, and we have to. And you got America First movements coming up left and right and things like that. So people are doing big things. I also wanted to tell you guys, please go follow me over on Rumble because, we can really get down to the nitty gritty over there. You can also find me on X and Twitch. I am going to be streaming next week. Maybe this weekend. I'm going to try the game Ark Raiders. I don't know if you guys have tried that yet, but I've been seeing a lot of good stuff about that game. So many people are playing that game right now and it looks badass. So I'm going to try to get into that. So please go also follow me on Twitch. You can find those links up in my channel bio. I really appreciate you guys watching and I hope you have a wonderful day.